The day I exposed my sister-in-law, she was standing 3 feet away from me, smiling, holding a glass of wine, calling me family. That was the moment I knew the performance was over. My name is Cherrie, and for a long time, my life felt like a calm, carefully arranged room. Nothing loud, nothing chaotic, just me and my husband Daniel, building something steady together. We made one decision early on that shaped everything else. We chose not to have children. It wasn't a tragedy, it wasn't a compromise. It was a choice we made together, or at least that's what I believed. I had a career I loved, one that paid well, better than Daniel's, and I was proud of it. I never saw that as a threat to our marriage, but to his family, it became the center of every quiet accusation. Daniel's mother, Evelyn, had never really approved of me. From the very beginning, I could feel it. The polite smiles that didn't quite reach her eyes. The way she would say things like, "Daniel always wanted a simple life," as if I'd complicated it just by existing. His sister, Megan, was different. Or so I thought. In the early days, she pulled me in like I belonged. Coffee dates, long calls, inside jokes. She had 2 boys, loud and adorable, and I helped her constantly, babysitting whenever she needed a break, picking them up from school, showing up without hesitation every time she asked. Then came the next layer. "Hey, can you help me with something for my business?" she said one day. Of course, I said yes. That something turned into hours of unpaid work, managing small tasks, then bigger ones. I was basically helping her run parts of it, with no credit, no compensation. Just a "you're the best" tossed my way every now and then. And still, I stayed, because I thought that's what family looked like. But slowly, the air around me changed. Conversations would pause when I entered a room. Megan's compliments became too polished, too perfect. Evelyn's comments became sharper, always disguised as concern. "A woman should know her priorities," she would say lightly. "Marriage requires balance, not competition." And then one afternoon, everything cracked open. Evelyn was visiting us. I was working from home, sitting in the study, when I heard her voice from the living room. She was on the phone, laughing casually. Then she said my name. "Cherrie doesn't even love Daniel properly," Evelyn said. "She treats him like he's beneath her because she earns more." My chest tightened. "She makes him do all the household work," she continued. "Cooking, cleaning, everything. What kind of wife does that? He deserves better." I couldn't move. "She never wanted children. That should have been a red flag from the start," she added. I knew this marriage wasn't right. That sentence hit the hardest, because it meant this wasn't new, this wasn't frustration. This was something she had been carrying from the very beginning. That night, I told Daniel everything, every word, every detail. He barely reacted. "Mom didn't mean it like that," he said. "You're overthinking. Just ignore it." Ignore it. Like my dignity was something optional, like respect was negotiable. After that, things didn't just continue. They escalated. Megan became even sweeter to my face, hugging me, praising me, acting like I was her closest ally. But behind my back, she was telling a completely different story. I didn't know how deep it went until my friend Rachel told me. "She talks about you a lot," Rachel said carefully, "and it's not kind." Then she showed me messages, conversations, words Megan thought would never reach me. "She doesn't love Daniel, she just controls him. She makes him handle everything at home because she thinks money gives her power. She's selfish, no kids, no real family values." I read every word, and something inside me didn't shatter. It sharpened. I realized I had been quiet for too long, trying to maintain peace in a place where I wasn't even respected. So I stopped trying to be understood and started preparing to be heard. Rachel stayed in touch with Megan like nothing had changed. Friendly calls, casual chats, and Megan, comfortable and careless, kept talking. Every accusation, every insult recorded, saved, waiting. Then came Richard's birthday party. The house was full, music, laughter, people moving around with drinks in hand. Megan played the perfect hostess. Evelyn sat among her friends, calm and composed. And Megan, as expected, was all over me. "Cherrie, you have to try this wine," she said, smiling brightly. "I seriously don't know what I'd do without you." I smiled back, because this time I knew exactly what I was about to do. Halfway through the evening, I stood up. Can I have everyone's attention for a minute? I said. The room slowly quieted. Conversations faded. Eyes turned toward me. Daniel looked confused. Megan looked curious. I walked to the speaker and connected my phone. I just want to share something, Muir, I said, my voice steady. And then I pressed play. Megan's voice filled the room. Sharp, clear, unfiltered. She doesn't love Daniel. She just controls him because she makes more money. She makes him do everything at home like he's her servant. A woman who doesn't want kids isn't normal. The room froze. Megan's smile collapsed instantly. Evelyn's face went pale. I let it play, every word, every lie, every truth. When it ended, the silence didn't just sit in the room. It pressed down on everyone. Megan's hands were shaking now. Cherrie, please, you're twisting things. You said it, I replied, calm but unshakable. Not me. Evelyn finally spoke, her voice tight. This is inappropriate. You're creating a scene. I turned to her slowly. No, I said. I'm ending one. Then I looked at Daniel. Not past him. Not through him. At him. You asked me to ignore this, I said, my voice quieter now but heavier. So I did. For months, I ignored the comments, the disrespect. The way your family talks about me like I'm some kind of mistake you made. His eyes dropped, and while I was staying silent, they were getting louder. For the first time that night, Daniel stepped forward. Mom, Megan, he said, his voice strained. This isn't okay. It wasn't loud. It wasn't dramatic. But it was the first time he chose a side. Megan started crying. Evelyn looked stunned, like the ground beneath her had shifted without warning. But something in me had already settled. I picked up my bag. I'm done proving myself to people who decided I was wrong before they even knew me, I said. Then I looked at Daniel one last time. I'm going home, I added. You can decide what that means for you. And I walked out. No shouting, no chaos. Just the sound of my heels against the floor, and a room full of people sitting with a truth they could no longer deny. That night, Daniel came home late. For the first time in a long time, he didn't defend them. He apologized. Not with excuses, not with conditions, just honesty. And for the first time, I didn't immediately forgive him. Because closure doesn't come from one moment. It comes from what happens after. In the weeks that followed, things changed. Boundaries were set. Clear ones. Non-negotiable ones. No more unpaid help. No more silent tolerance. No more pretending. Distance grew where it needed to. Respect, slowly, carefully, started to rebuild where it could. And as for me, I stopped shrinking. I stopped explaining my choices like they needed approval, because my life was never up for debate. And if you're sitting somewhere right now, holding your breath just to keep peace in a room that keeps breaking you, listen carefully. You don't need permission to stand up for yourself. You don't need to wait for things to get worse. And you definitely don't need to stay where you're only valued when you stay quiet. Sometimes closure isn't about fixing everything. Sometimes it's about finally choosing yourself and walking away, knowing you were never the problem to begin with. This is shattered truth. And the next story might be closer to your reality than you think.